So today, I want to take you on what is the after effect. We all understand that no matter what we do or what happens, there's always an after effect. Like if there's an earthquake, there's what? The aftershocks. If you don't get your wife flowers on Valentine's Day, there's an aftershock. You know, there's those things. There's just a natural, I'll picture you. A lot of times when you go on a spiritual journey, there's an after effect that comes in. What I've come to understand really clearly is this, that once we expand in our awareness, we cannot go back. So the question I'm going to ask, and this was a discussion I had with my son Stephen the other day, was, are there unlimited choices? In your life, are there unlimited choices? I'm going to say no. That's contrary to everything that we talk about on Sunday, right? Because we talk about we're an infinite expression of the one. We are the divine expressing individually, and as we are, we have the power of the divine to speak with us. I'm saying that those choices are limited by the mental atmosphere that we have. So that if we have a mental atmosphere of this size, then the choices that we have must rest within that atmosphere. To have choices beyond that, we must expand our mental atmosphere, and when we do, those infinite choices become more available to us. In other words, we've got to come out of this world where we think that everything is black and white. We think everything is yes or no. We think everything is Republican or Democrat. We think everything is Christian or Muslim. We think everything is male or female. We've got to come out of that because it is in that mental atmosphere that we confine ourselves to reliving our experience over and over and over again. And we sit there in hopelessness wondering, why can't we expand? Why can't we see something new? It's because we haven't taken any steps to expand our vision by opening up to a new possibility. So here's the beauty when people are children. Children are always looking to expand, looking to grow, looking to try new things. They are not set in this idea of a habit until what? Until parents put them in a habit, or we take them to school. And school definitely puts them in a habit. You're going to be in this little place, you're going to be boxed in, and this type of thing. It was really fascinating when I was in the Garden of Peace in Peru, on the very last day when I conducted my values workshop. I did it for the students that were there and for the people that were serving. But it wasn't sitting in a classroom. It didn't have tables there where you sat in a school-like order. And because the atmosphere changed, I found I changed. And as I changed and gave it, they changed. And it was the best single thing I've ever done. Because it was more at a heart center. It wasn't, you see, I realized within my mind, I have a mental atmosphere about school. I realized in the minds of these individuals that were there, they had mental atmospheres of school. And when we broke the atmosphere, we did something differently. There was a different receptivity involved. Yesterday, when I was doing the panels, there was a woman who was being the client being counseled by the practitioner. And the thing came out and it said, basically, I've lost all this weight. I know I got to go to the gym. I've got to weight lift. I got to get rid of this cellulite. I got to get rid of this excess skin. I got to do all this. And I can't do it. I just don't have the motivation to do it. Why do you think that is? I think it's because there's a belief structure that's been ingrained in us that as we age, this happens. As we get older, this happens. If I lose this weight, I always will have cellulite. If this happens, this happens, this happens. So it's all these beliefs that have been brought in by society that has become the mental atmosphere in which this woman lives that is stopping her from taking action to go forward. Now that's when we should implement the thing called Nike. Despite what we believe, do it. Here's what I've come to understand more clearly than ever. Our beliefs create. And our beliefs limit. Do you see how that's a double-edged sword? So then, what is a mental atmosphere? A mental atmosphere is the sum of all of our beliefs. So the whole atmosphere that I am or that you are is simply all of the various beliefs that we've got put into this one consciousness that is Lee or is you. And that consciousness that is me, based on where I'm at, if I'm talking about fitness, I have a different consciousness. I can see a greater possibility. Building a big center where thousands of people come, I've got work to do. I've got work to do to expand the limitation of my own mind to be able to see thousands of people and know that the infrastructure's in place and that the right people serving as practitioners, as assistants are here so that the community gets fed at the deepest of levels. I've got to build the mental atmosphere of how do we bring intimacy into a large group of people. And it can be done. But I've not been exposed to that, so I've got to step out of my comfort zone and into something new. So how do you do that? You find people, or you start reading and you exploring things that are beyond where you are. This is what happened when I was in Peru. My perception of Lee blew apart. It blew apart because I got to see love at the highest, higher than I've ever seen it before. I got to experience. I didn't see it. I felt it at the very core of my being. So I understand love at this higher level than I could ever imagine going there. Is it the highest level? No, because there's always more. It's as much as I could get at that time. But at the same time, I got to experience hell at a deeper level than I've ever experienced before. Why? Because there's always balance in the universe. You cannot have a one-sided life. There will always be two sides, and everything is brought into balance. Now, here's the key. When you take what you perceive as hell, the negative charge, and you take the heaven or the love as the positive charge, and you bring them into the center, and they are in equanimity, they're equanimous, they are in balance, that's the state of God. That's the state of this divine infinite power and presence. It is not an anthropomorphic being that says good is good, and I love you if you're good. If you're bad, I damn you. See, that's not God. That's man. That's humankind thrown upon God that says, I damn you. God doesn't damn. God is infinite. It knows not to compare against anything. There is nothing right or wrong. Everything is simply on the journey. It's on the path. And when we get the emotions, it pushes us in one direction or the other, depending on where we want to go, if we are clear about who we are. This is really the crystal thing. Are you clear of who you are? Are you clear about where you want to go? Are you clear of how you want to express love, experience love? Are you clear about the type of relationships you want in your life? Are you clear about, are these material things really the things that are going to bring me happy? Or are they just nice to have? And am I putting too much emphasis there? And should I be getting on my knees and playing with my child or my grandchild? Or someone else's child, and being just authentically real and without boundaries. I will say to you that in the welcome, when I walked up to Leanne and I said to her, tell me you love me. That's a precious moment. That was better than the whole talk I'm doing. Because when we can look in another's eyes, and we can look into our own eyes in the mirror and love ourselves, accept ourselves as we are, see beyond the limited picture that we built in our belief structures, and see this magnificent presence that is waiting to be discovered, waiting to be acted upon. When we can embody that, we open ourselves and see ourselves as the observer that is the infinite upon ourselves, and realize the infinite potential that is within us. And then again, we can never play small. Why would we want to ever play small? I can't think of a reason, but yet for so much of my life I did. And now I'm saying that just doesn't exist. It's about always stepping forward into the greater you. Here's the key. Surround yourself. Read only things that expand you. Talk about things that expand you. Be with people who support you and expand you. Now remember, expansion is not just necessarily, oh, it's good to be with you. Sometimes the people who challenge us the most expand us the most. It goes back to what we teach at Agape all the time. Awareness is the only thing that matters. This is really incredible, the after effect of being in Peru, because when we go out to a dinner now, I look at the menu and I consciously look at every item that I'm ordering and what's in every item, and I'm saying, is this a life energy I want to put into this mouth, which feeds this body that is a life expressing, that I want to live to be 124, functioning the way it does today so I can continue to do the work I'm doing. So I'm very conscious about that, and I don't care what anyone says. People tell me, Lee, try this, try this, try this. Like yesterday at the thing, they had all this food out there. And I'm so grateful that Jean, my beloved wife, who loves to be of service, brought our own food. Because the food there was not what I would have eaten. Not that it was bad, it's just that it's not what I choose to put into the temple that is the engine through which I feed life. And then when people tell me stories now, I got stories yesterday about how things aren't working. I said, I don't want to hear that. Tell me what is working. Tell me where your juice is. Tell me what fires you up. You see, the whole idea is we've got to let go of all the ideas within our mind that we've ever made a mistake. There is no mistakes in life. Mistakes are simply things we've done that have told us that's not the path to go on. So I've been married, 4,543 and a half years. I'm sorry, Camille, no business from Reverend Lee for this lifetime. Private joke. And I get that when I am authentic, when I am Lee, the only thing I can attract is love. And what do I mean by love? I mean love is acceptance. If I'm authentic and real, isn't it easier to accept me? If I'm lying and I'm deceitful and I'm putting on a phony front, do you not know that? Do you not feel that? You'll leave here and say something was off with Lee, or he was a son of a bitch. You know, you'll think that, you'll go that, and then a lot of times you won't come back because you're saying to yourself, well, wait, I can't be with someone who's not authentic. I would rather have people come to Agape and leave because they couldn't accept my authenticity than accept me becoming plastic and molding myself to be so people like me. Because if I'm becoming what people want to like, then I'm sacrificing Lee, and why would I want to be in a relationship like that? Why would I ever let anyone be in relationship with me that accepts me for not who I am, or me accepting them for something that they're not? I invite you to look at yourself today when you leave Agape and ask the question, how much do I accept myself? And how can I accept myself more than I ever have? And then ask the question, how I can accept the people in my life as they are without changing them? That's not an easy question. That's a very difficult question. But until we ask that question, how do we move outside of our limited mental atmosphere? How do we find that there is a greater possibility that we can go into? How do we know which step in which way we can make the move? How do we know how do we speak to these people until we've done these questions? You see, this life is the most beautiful thing we could ever ask for. There is nothing greater than being in this human form, having the ability to use the power within us, our beliefs, and the power to change our beliefs to create the experience that we desire. Never, ever, ever beat yourself up for anything in your life because you think you're responsible for it. Accept yourself where you are, and from there, create a new you. See, that's the after effect. That's what I've learned, is become more fully aware with every breath, every word, every thought, every action. Live from that sense of awareness, knowing who you are and what you value. And now move forward with all the freedom in the world and not being pulled by anything from the past, letting go of it, and also giving that gift to everyone else in your life. And when you give that gift, you're giving love. And when you give love, you are love. Isn't that all we're here for? There's nothing more than that.
I want to thank you for joining us today. I am so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask you to go to our website. Once there, click on the Contribute button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to the world. I would also ask you to please share this message with anyone you feel might benefit. Again, I want to thank you for joining me and the Agape community as together we bring joy to life.